I just got back from an event. It was in downtown Calgary. Vivian Krause from British Columbia came over to speak to a crowd of about 1,300 people. It included business leaders, politicians, and everyday Albertans to speak about a very important issue. She was speaking about foreign funds coming from the United States into Canada to manipulate public perceptions about our oil and gas. She's followed the paper trail. She says money's come from places like the Rockefeller Foundation into Canada to fund protests to do what she calls demarket our oil and gas. Here's what she had to say.
This is the third time that we've had a Rockefeller-funded, US-funded campaign against our major resource-based industries. First it was forestry and salmon farming, as we talked about, and most recently our oil. As far back as 2012, the Rockefeller Brothers Fund was funding activist groups to pressure the Alberta government into putting a cap, what they called a cap, on tar sands production. Of course, they're referring to what, in fact, your premier did when she brought in her climate plan. From the very beginning, the campaign strategy was to landlock the tar sands so their crude could not reach the international market where it could fetch a high price per barrel.
In the crowd and speaking at the same event was Brett Wilson. You may know him. He's been in a little bit of hot water recently, speaking about separatism and renegotiating Alberta's place in Confederation. He says he's not a separatist, but take a listen to this.
I am not a separatist. I do not want to break up Canada, but I'm a frustrated nationalist. And if we can't get the respect and the deal that we need to be part of Canada, there's a lot of Albertans saying, why are we here? And I'm one of those questioning. I feel like they've said we're here to listen, and that's all they're doing. There's no action. I haven't seen a tangible moment in the last 2 or 3 years that has shown any support for the future of the oil industry, the future of Alberta and Saskatchewan, and therefore the future of the economic engine that has kept Canada alive for the last several decades. Nothing.
Now look, he says he's not a separatist, but I think everyone in the crowd knew what he was getting at. Here's what everyday Albertans had to say after the event about separation.
What would it take for you to start supporting Alberta separatism?
No action from the federal government. I've lived through 1981. I see our transfer payments going out. There's never any support for Alberta.
Separation? I think it's something that's on a lot of people's minds lately, and even more so on mine. I mean, I don't think we're getting a fair shake from Eastern Canada, and I don't think we ever have, and I don't think we ever will.
The event was huge. Like I said, about 1,300 people showed up to listen to Vivian Krause speak at this event hosted by Canada Action. The sentiment in the crowd, well, Albertans have never been more upset, more angry and frustrated with the rest of Canada as they are right now. For the Rebel Media, this is Cian Bexte. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the coverage. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about Alberta separation.